Thank you, Naeem. Assalamu alaikum and Eid Mubarak. It's a week of the Eid, so we have some festivities accordingly. And you've been enjoying them, we'll have them again after I'm done in about 15 or 20 minutes. This is actually the first time you've done an event of this kind where we don't have an agenda, per se, we don't have a speaker or a panel, and this was an opportunity for us to share with you our vision and plan for the next 2 years. As Naeem alluded, the new leadership team took over Open Silicon Valley during the summer, past summer, and we've spent the last few weeks, I would say at least 2 or 3 months, strategizing and planning as to what we want to accomplish over the next 2 years. This is an opportunity for us to share those plans with you, get your thoughts, so we'll have some Q&A. And also state a call to action as to how you can help. This is a community platform. This is not a closed organization. So clearly, whatever we do is a function of how many of you are actually helping out. So, with that preamble, before we step into what we want to accomplish, let me step back and share with you where we are today as a community and as an organization. I actually see a lot of new faces, so I'm going to give a bit of a historical context to Open. Open was formed, and Matt can keep me honest here if I'm missing some history. Open was formed in the Silicon Valley chapter was the third chapter after our inception of the organization in Boston, in New England, and New York. The third chapter formed in 2001. So we're actually in the 6th year of our presence in the Valley. And I've had the fortune of being involved in various capacities over the past 4 years, if not more. We've done, I would say, if I could summarize, we've been consistent in delivering a core set of events. And I was trying to count the number of events, and I was driving here, 20 quarterly events, perhaps without missing a beat, which is a quarter. 4 major conferences, Open Forum, and many of you probably have attended the Open Forum, which I think makes that event probably now one of the most widely acknowledged premier Pakistani business American or Pakistani business conferences. So there's definitely a history of delivery. There's definitely mind share. People definitely know this platform has to be there. But we also acknowledge that as we sat through and planned and we're strategizing the next 2 years, that we have a lot more to do. Given the strength of this community and given what we have accomplished as a community, there's a whole lot more we can do. And I will share what that is. So given the fact that we are mature today, we've had 6 years, a good run in the Valley, we've made great strides, good mind share, I really feel that we're entering a new phase. And you will see in our messaging, you will see in our communication, you will see in our events, you will see in our services, that there will be a difference. And in a nutshell, frankly, we are stepping up. And there is a team behind us who's helping us step up. And we'll also share those faces with you, which is again part of the objective of this evening. And also how you can help. So let me just summarize. Our vision is really to transform Open as a world-class networking and mentorship platform. And Open Silicon Valley will take the lead in making that happen. It is big, I think the reasons are fairly simple. It just lends itself to the culture in Silicon Valley. People tend to network more. And secondly, frankly, we are one of the more viable chapters and certainly leading the way. So we are embracing this vision to guide us for the next 2 years and beyond. And clearly, we will try to institutionalize things that these things hopefully live on even after this team has completed its term. To help us execute on this mission, we spend a lot of time on this in a very corporate style, and part of it is the work at Yahoo when I do business planning and strategy. There are 3 core set of objectives we have. One, we are very clear in our mind that our core segments, our core constituents, are early stage professionals and entrepreneurs. Entrepreneur is clearly the E in Open stands for entrepreneurs, and that is a core segment, and we will not deviate from that. We're going to do things to focus on those folks. But we also believe that overwhelming majority of folks in our community are actually professionals. folks who work for the company. Then actually I was talking to a number of folks before we started talking, and say, you know, I showed up here, actually Bilal, if he's still here, Bilal from HP, he was like, I showed up three years ago, and we were talking about VC funding, and he just didn't feel what he had to do, and he needed help, and he just didn't come back. There are many such folks I think we have over the time that didn't see whether this was a platform that could also benefit could also benefit professionals. So while we stay focused on entrepreneurs, enabling their success through our services, we want to make sure we do enough and communicate enough for folks who are actually working in at Suns and Cisco's and Oracle's and SAP's of the world. And even when I say that, the focus is on early stage professionals. That's where the greatest need is. I was talking to Rafiq a few months back when we started planning, and I was just reaching out to a broad set of folks to get their feedback. He's one of our charter members, and he cited a study that there's a survey done recently that the ratio of Pakistani/Muslim VPs to non-VPs is the lowest for this community. And that training, how do you manage your career? How do you set yourself up for success? How do you work the corporate ladder? That starts when you're in the first 5 to 7 years of your after undergrad. So that's an area where we really want to spend time, and you will notice in the workshops and events that we have planned that there is a conscious decision to help to come up with events and topics that help people manage their career more actively. Secondly, outreach and inclusiveness. And clearly, I mean, we have a good penetration in our community here. I think by some estimates, there are 50 to 20,000 Pakistanis or Pakistani Americans in the area. We don't have the exact numbers. Nobody knows that list. But we reach out to probably a third of them. We can do a whole lot better. And we will, while we do that, generally speaking, and try to build our presence more in the community here, two constituents or two segments, if you will, that we also want to make sure we focus on more proactively as one, women, and two, professionals and entrepreneurs at all levels. And I did touch on this. Let me spend a couple of minutes on women. And I'll candidly share with you our state of affairs today. It is not a satisfying situation when you see that women are less than 4% of open community and open membership. That's just not acceptable. And clearly our numbers are not that encouraging compared to some other communities, but 4% is way too low. And I clearly see more women today, but we need to do a lot more. Whether in the content we push out, whether it's the messaging we do, and so we also need your help in reaching out. We generally believe that perhaps a spouse will forward an email, but that doesn't happen. So we need to reach out to women directly. So we've been consciously trying to get women in our leadership team. I would say almost 40% of the women, 40% of folks in the leadership team today are actually women, actually broadly speaking, folks who are volunteering. So we are consciously doing this to reach out to more women. And you will see some topics like how do you re-enter workforce, topics of those nature are actually targeted for women. Third and importantly, I think we have, given where we are today as a community, and I think that it won't be an exaggeration to say that the Pakistani or the Pakistani American community in this part of the world is perhaps the most fortunate and empowered community, Pakistani community in the face of this planet. It'll be awfully shameful if all we do is just enable each other for success and we don't give back. Many of us have connections back home, whether it's business, offshoring, or we feel the need to give back, given all the challenges there and also the opportunities. So we are very thoughtfully considering some ways, without deviating from our core business charter, to help out. In the past, we have done it more ad hoc. People have reached out to us from the government circles, from agencies, and we've entertained them, we've brought them here. But we're going to increase our collaboration with the private sector. Babandi Sahab was here, founder of LUMS, in ICON last summer for Open Forum as a keynote, and he had a great private speech, and I'm sure you got a chance to hear this. And he talked about how folks here would help his graduates from LUMS get jobs. So there are plenty of opportunities of that sort in the education sector or private sector that we can do. And actually, there's an event we have planned in January that I'll talk about, where we are hosting 12 tech companies from Pakistan, working with PSCB. for them to be introduced to the market here. So before I go into detail, and I'll keep it brief, as to what are we doing with respect to delivering on that vision and those objectives, let me just quickly summarize for you the sort of type of events or the programs we have. Our programs could be easily categorized into two types: mentorship and networking. That's what we do. And as part of mentorship, we have actually now increased the frequency of workshops. We used to do them before. We now do them on a monthly basis. And these workshops are hands-on, niche workshops. And you will see examples of those in your full agenda for the year. Secondly, we are going to host monthly breakfasts, mentorship breakfast with core key leaders in our community, where you can connect with a leader, a business leader, in a very small setting and ask them questions about how they have done it and how you can learn from them. On the networking front, there's a brand new program that we're launching this year, which is an open agenda affinity group networking research. An example of this is Semiconductor Professionals Night. We noticed that in the past when we did networking events, we had obviously a very diverse set of folks, and some of them have common interests, others don't. So we want to do much more focused things where folks from a certain industry, from a certain affinity group will come together. There's also an event we're planning around alumni from Pakistani business schools, alumni from Pakistani engineering schools. Because, again, given the diversity in our community, we can do such things to have much more targeted. I've lost it. Secondly, this is Quality Panel Series. We've done this. This has been Open's bread and butter for the last 6 years. We're going to continue that. The very popular programs. Every quarter we do an event, get a panel, talk about a prevailing business trend, or talk about entrepreneurship, or things related to corporate success. And finally, Open Forum 2008, our mega event of the year. That is actually, this will be the 5th annual business conference. It's very encouraging to see how we've actually built this almost an institution where you have 5 years of this conference. So we will do some special planning, and you will see a special agenda given this is the 5th edition of the conference. So I'll quickly run through these things just for your benefit. For mentorship, we talked about workshops. The first one we did was in September, launching a startup. Names Zafar has been driving workshops and actually spent 4.5, 5 hours on a Saturday during Ramadan to do this workshop on how to launch a startup. We had a sellout crowd of 50 people. We couldn't accommodate them all upstairs at SAP. It was a huge success. Again, it was focused on early stage entrepreneurs, people who need help. We have a workshop on MBA to do or not to do. So it's a very popular workshop actually next week. Crafting your resume, Pakistani American women in workforce challenges they face, how to re-enter workforce given peculiar challenges facing Pakistani women or Muslim women. That is actually planned for December. Again, given the fact that women are one of our key areas of focus. And so on, and I won't go through the entire list here. We're also trying to actually partner with peer organizations to build up some content, or if you will, state events. The last one, Legal Matters, Startup IP Export, it's actually being done in collaboration with South Asian and Muslim Lawyers Association, based in the Bay Area. And a lot of the folks who are starting their business may need some guidance on the legal front, so we thought this would be a helpful event. Mentorship sessions, we've signed up a number of our charter members and leaders in the community to host these small setting breakfast meetings with 3 to 5 members in our community would sit across or sit with these leaders and ask them questions about in a much more informal setting. So Idris is hosting in December. We have you signed up. When I sent my email, like 2 months ago, got asking if I remember we need your help, but he was the first one to say, sign me up. So I think you have to sign up in December. Matt is doing actually one, and I don't have you here, but I thought you signed up as well. Anyway, so you will see messaging around this, and you'll have the opportunity to sign up for these events. Quality Panel Series on November 14th, less than a month from now, is our first Quality Panel Series. We already have actually a couple of key VCs confirmed for this. You'll see a message come out pretty soon. Where are VCs investing globally? Utilizing offshore services at a startup in Pakistan, that's planned for December.
roadmap for corporate success, how I raised my first round, and then open forum. Industry mixers, I talked about this. This is a new concept that we're rolling out this year, and this open house was taken up the first evening, but the next mixer is this fall is for semiconductor professionals. We're going to host a PSCB delegation, some of the top Pakistani tech companies who want to just connect with some folks here as a potential market. In January, there's an early stage venture entrepreneurs evening planned for the winter as well. And then we're going to host a Pakistan Business and Engineering Schools Alumni Night. And an idea, frankly, that I got from an NED convention is just seeing the traction there and great work that Asam and his team did. And I think there's a need for former alums and former other school alumni to come together and just meet old friends and we in the process have an opportunity to connect with them as well. Enterprise software and service professional night, and then also non-tech. From the Sadia, and she always reminds me there are non-tech people here as well. So we are again given our overarching focus of reaching out more broadly, we're going to do things that are just not focused on technology people. So who are the people behind this? And you know me, Wahid Qureshi is actually unfortunately sick. He's not feeling well. He's vice president. Ashir Aziz is traveling. VP Naeem Zafar introduced me, General Secretary. Asia Merchant, the treasurer. We would not be able to do any of this if we don't have the support and the hard work and diligence of our operating team and our volunteer team. So these leads, Abdulrahman Rafiq, Mozam Chaudhary, Mubashir, Mariam Sari, Nassan, Nasma, they're the leads, and I don't have the entire list of volunteers, do an amazing job of putting these things together. And given this ambitious agenda we have, frankly, we can't execute it without this help. And I feel we are still, short-staffed, if you will, when it comes to that. So please volunteer. Many of you actually have reached out. We're building up a volunteer base, and we need even more bandwidth to do that. So, in a nutshell, it's an opportunity for you to get involved. This is really our shared platform, and being this size community and relatively a smaller community, I think we're stronger if we come together. And we're doing our bit to reach out more, to connect more, to form more alliances, if you will, formal or informal, to put forth more content, if you will, more services. But it simply cannot be done with this, just a team of 8 or 10 people. Remember, we are a volunteer-run organization. There's nobody in the payroll. I have a day job at Yahoo when I have run a business, and everybody on this team is doing tremendous work in their workplaces. So we certainly need more help and guidance from people at all levels, if you will, and background. So hope you will join us. There's a table on our site to sign up for membership. Asma reminded me that we'll give a free iPod Shuffle. There's a raffle if you sign up for membership. Thank you again. And yes, we do have some questions and answers session if you want to have any questions for us, me and the team.